So what if I told you that the blueprint for your entire life, we're talking your health, your success, everything, wasn't some hidden secret out there in the world, but was actually sitting right inside your own mind? Well, today we're going to dive into a tiny book from 1903 that makes that exact claim. And trust me, its message is more powerful today than ever before.
You've heard this a million times, right? You are what you eat. But the author of this book, James Allen, he argues that what we think is way, way more important. He believed our thoughts have this incredible, almost architectural power to literally build our feelings, our actions, and yeah, even our destiny. So James Allen was basically one of the pioneers of the whole self-help movement, and his book, As a Man Thinketh, is a total cornerstone. And yeah, it's over a century old, but its core ideas are absolutely timeless. They give us the tools to become the masters of our own minds. All right, so let's jump into the first big idea from this book. This concept that we are all unseen architects. See, every single day, you're building your reality, moment by moment. And the number one building material you have to work with, it's your thoughts. Now, to really make this idea click, Allen uses this amazing metaphor that we're going to explore for a bit, the idea that your mind is a garden. So just picture it for a second. Your mind is this plot of land, and every thought you have is a seed. Now, here's the critical part. That garden is never empty. It's always going to produce something. If you're not deliberately planting beautiful flowers or useful crops, well, weeds are going to take over all by themselves. They don't need any help at all to grow. And this just lays it out perfectly, right? You've got two choices. On one side, you have the cultivated garden. That's where you intentionally plant positive thoughts and you get a harvest of great character, joy, and real achievement. But on the other side, you've got the wild, neglected garden. Let random negative thoughts take root, and all you're going to grow are weeds, bad habits, and a life you really didn't choose. And this really brings it all home. It's not about what you planted yesterday or last year. It boils down to this moment, right now. What seeds are you choosing to plant today? Okay, so we get the metaphor. Mind is a garden. But how does this actually work? How does a tiny, invisible little seed of a thought grow into the visible, tangible reality of our lives? Well, Allen maps it out for us in 4 clear steps. It all kicks off with a single hidden thought. You water that thought with a little repetition, and pretty soon it sprouts into a habit. That habit then grows stronger and becomes a consistent action. And finally, that action produces the fruit of your circumstances. It's a direct line, from seed to harvest. And you can see this playing out everywhere. The book talks about someone who's stuck in poverty. It's not because of their situation, but because their thought pattern is all about complaining and blaming others. Or think about someone who's rich but is always sick. Why? Because they're clinging to unhealthy, indulgent thoughts. But then you have the person who cultivates purposeful, confident thoughts. And what happens? They naturally take action and create success. And get this, it's not just about your bank account or your job. This stuff literally affects your body. The sources are so clear about this. Thoughts of fear, worry, and stress directly lead to physical illness. But on the flip side, happy, beautiful thoughts can actually clothe your body in youthfulness. It's pretty wild. This line right here, this is one of the most powerful lines in the entire book. We usually think our circumstances define us, right? But Allen just flips that whole idea on its head. He says our circumstances are just a mirror. They're simply reflecting the inner world that we've already built with our thoughts. Okay, so we get the principle. Now for the big question, how do we actually do it? How do we actively cultivate this garden of ours? What are the tools we need to get the job done? The first and most critical tool is purpose. Allen is super clear on this. If your thoughts aren't linked to a purpose, they have no real direction or power. He even calls aimlessness a vice and warns that it leads to catastrophic destruction. Without that anchor, your mind just drifts around, getting snagged on every little worry and fear that floats by. So, what is a purpose really? Well, think of it as that central goal you set in your heart. It becomes the anchor for your mind, the one point that all your thoughts can rally around. It gives them focus and real creative power. The second tool is vision. This is that big, lofty dream you hold on to. It's the ideal of who you could become. And just remember, every great achievement in human history, from putting a man on the moon to starting a small business, it all began as a vision in someone's mind. Your vision is literally the promise of what you will one day become. And the third tool is self-control.
Now, Alan says there's no real achievement without some sacrifice, but the first sacrifice we have to make, it's letting go of what he calls these confused animal thoughts. All those reactive desires and distractions that just clutter up our minds and pull us away from our real purpose. So, let's say you do all this. You master these tools, you tend your garden every day. What's the ultimate harvest? It's not just about money or success, it's something much deeper, a state of profound inner peace. Alan describes this state of calm so beautifully. He calls it one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It's not something you can just find. It's something precious that you earn through the patient practice of controlling your own thoughts. And listen, this isn't about being passive or checked out. Serenity is a superpower. A calm mind means you think more clearly, you make better decisions. It builds the mental muscle you need to handle whatever life throws at you. And eventually, that calm, stable energy makes you a force that people are drawn to. It's the real foundation for lasting success. So if you take just one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. You are in control. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the master of your thought. You are the molder of your character, and you are the maker and shaper of your own destiny. And so we end right back where we started. Your mind is a garden. Every single day, you're planting seeds, whether you realize it or not. So the only question left to ask is, what will you choose to grow?